It's rare that I get to review a game that was released both in Europe and Japan, but not in North America. And so for today's episode I wanted to cover Centre Court Tennis, or Let's Smash as it was known in Japan. Developed by Hudson Soft and released by them in Japan, it was then published in Europe by Big.N Interactive in 1998. I'm not a huge fan of tennis games, and if I do want to play one I'd probably prefer to play something like Virtua Tennis. However, when a game is designed to be an arcade-like title rather than a simulation one, I felt more inclined to play it. When you begin the game, the first thing you want to get around to doing is creating your own character. There are a limited number of options of skin tones, accessories and uniforms, and at first I was a little disappointed that there wasn't much customization on offer. Like most tennis games, the standard singles and doubles matches are available, and you can choose to play as both male and female characters. Mixed sex matches are also possible. You also get the standard support for up to 4 players, and you can choose to enter tournaments or exhibitions at your leisure. It's only when you go deeper into the game modes that things become a little more interesting. Firstly, you have a practice mode, which instead of just being a basic exhibition match, you can instead choose to practice certain skills such as serving, smashing and so on. It's a nice touch given that you can quickly improve on certain areas of your game if you find that the computer opponent is constantly catching you out with certain shots. When you enter the minigame mode, you are presented with a few various alternative ways to play tennis in a single player mode. These consist of high score challenges, such as hitting balls at barrels to score points, shot returns where you'll need quick reflexes to return balls but avoid bombs, and a mode where you must serve to knock down a tower before time runs out. All of these minigames are fun in their own right, but a nice addition is the fact that they too help you brush up on areas of your game in a fun and different way. The core challenge mode sees you pick an opponent and play against them. Before the match you have to make a wager, putting one item of your wardrobe up in return for the chance to use to select and win one of your opponent's pieces of equipment. This is when I realised why the first time you create a character with the game it is so limited. This is a mode where you get to flesh out your equipment and clothing, and it adds a great reason to keep replaying the game once you've won all the tournaments on offer. In a nice twist, some of these challenges also have special courts. Take for instance the one you're seeing right now. A huge rotating record spins on the floor. If you stand on it, then you'll move with it, which makes a big challenge to return shots and move as freely as you used to. It's small tweaks like this that make the game remain fresh long after most other tennis games have grown old. Now the game's graphics are so-so. Whilst I love the cartoon-like presentation and style, it just seems to be lacking some detail. Sure, you get some small quirky animations from time to time when you return shots, but overall the game does feel and look a little bit stiff at times. This is not helped by the controls and hit detection, which at times can frustrate you. There will be moments where you're stood exactly on the marker for where the ball will land, press a button to swing, and the ball will sail straight on through you. Unfortunately, this happens all too often in Centre Court Tennis. Even with a very simplistic and basic control structure, simple shot returns can become overly challenging, and when it starts to cost you matches, it pushes you to the point of turning the game off. The music can be a hit or miss affair. In general, the music is well done. It is basic, but it gets the job done. It fits in with the cartoon style of the game, and whilst not entirely memorable, it doesn't distract from the game or become annoying. The effects do sound a little hollow. There are times when you hit the ball and the shot bounces have a terrible echo on them, which takes away any weight from the audio. There are also some terrible cliches, such as police sirens when you play on the street court that aren't really necessary and do feel forced into the game. It's hard to see why Centre Court Tennis didn't get a North American release. Sure, the console was getting All-Star Tennis 99 shortly after this, and that had a huge marketing budget and some top licensed players to draw attention to it. But that was mostly a simulation style game, and an arcade sports game like this tended to do better on the Nintendo 64. In short, would I recommend Centre Court Tennis? Probably not. It's a fun game in short bursts, but even here in Europe the game sold poorly, was met with mixed reviews in both countries, and due to the very low production run of the PAL version, it's not one of the easiest games to find. But it does have its moments, and if you can justify picking it up for the small amount of fun you're likely to get from it, then I'd still say it's worth spending even just a few hours playing through it. But I want to know why you feel this game didn't get a stateside release. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and until next time.